Hey, hey, what is up? What's happening? What's going on? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Who's ready? Who's ready? Drop me a comment. Let me know that you're on. Let me know that you're excited. Let me know that you're fired up. I'm fired up. Are you fired up? Come on. Who's fired up? This right here today, this right here is going to change your sales career. You're going to look back at this day, mark it down. The last day of January in 2026 is the day I completely changed my life, my career, and my business. Buy into that, believe that, thank God for today. And we're gonna move mountains today. We're gonna make it happen today. You are never gonna be the same after today. I know those are bold things to say. Come on. Who's with me? Who's awake? Who's ready to go? So tag somebody because I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. I'm gonna give you the keys to closing with confidence. No more chasing, no more begging, no more bugging, no more pleading, no more pretty pleasing, no more I wish I could get a sale. None of that crap. It's gone. It's toast. After today, it all changes. So tag somebody. Who do you want to bring with you into the promised land? Who do you want to bring with you into victory? Someone drop a victory for me. Who's got a victory? I'm looking at a bunch of future champions. I'm looking at a bunch of champions right now that's going to be completely transformed. And so tag someone. Who do you want to bring with you? Come on. I like it. Victory. You're more than conquerors. You're the light of the world. Not to be ignored. Not to be at the bottom, but on the top. To be the head, not the tail. You're here for greatness. Let's go. Come on. All right. So here's the deal. Okay. Here's the deal. So it's going to consist of a few different parts. All right. And I'm gonna tell you the lowdown here. One, we're going to go hardcore on how to better connect with prospects, how to be more persuasive, how to use posture, how to close more sales. We are going to go hard. You're going to have to take if you're watching this while you're driving, you're going to miss 80%. I'm just telling you. I mean, it's better than not listening. You're going to need a pen and paper because you're going to hear stuff you've never heard before. You're going to hear things. You bought 52 different sales courses. You hired that influencer guru, and they didn't tell you any of this stuff. I'm going to tell you stuff that you've never heard before. You're going to want a pen and paper. You're going to want to be prepared. Okay. So we're going to go hard. I'm going to give you every persuasion methodology, framework. I'm going to give you, like, some people are anti-scripts, but the truth is they're really word tracks. I use the word scripts because people ask me about scripts all the time. The truth is they're actually word tracks because you learn these word tracks and you're not reading them, right? You own them. So you're gonna own some stuff today that you didn't own prior to today. And so tag someone, help them out. People need help because here's the deal. Here's what I see. I see you guys with transformative services, with amazing products, with incredible opportunities that the world needs to hear about, but y'all ain't closing enough. I gotta take what I've learned and guide you so that you are the hero of your company. So you're the hero of your opportunity. So you're on the leaderboard. So you're winning the incentive trip. So you're walking the stage. My job here is not for me to be the hero. That's not my role. My role is to be the guide. I want to guide you to victory. I want to guide you to the championship. And that's what we're going to do today. And so I'll walk you through how to be just absolutely powerful, in control, leading the conversation in your follow-ups, how to not be dissuaded when they ghost you or when they are negative or skeptical or cynical or nasty or whatever. None of that. None of that's going to phase you anymore. Okay. And then I'm going to share with you one way that I can be in your corner for the next 6 months. And that's, that's going to be up to you. If you see the value in that, I'm going to share that with you. And then we're going to go into, we're going to go from here. We're going to have an after party. How's that? How about an after party? So we're going to have an after party and we're going to go into Free Coaching Friday on my Instagram. So I'm going to go live on Instagram after this. Now I'm going to be paying attention to your comments and I'm going to be asking for participation. Okay. And so, but I probably won't be able to get to all your comments, to all your questions, I should say, but I will on Instagram. So after this, we'll go to Instagram. I'm going to go about 90 minutes and I would encourage you. Now I know how this works, right? An hour in, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed or something like that. I encourage you, if you want this to be the year you change your life, if you want this to be the year that your ancestors point to and say, that's when the family tree changed. I'm not joking here, because here's the deal. Here's the reality. You can learn a lot of stuff. You can learn AI, you can learn Instagram, you can learn all these different things, but learning how to better close is the most lucrative skill you can have, because if you know how to close, every single activity becomes more valuable. If you don't know how to close, then you're just going to have to generate 10 times more leads than someone who does know how to close. You're going to have to reach out to 10 times more people than someone who knows how to close. If you know how to close, which you will know by the end of this session, you're going to know how to close. You're going to know what it looks like. You're going to know what it feels like. You're going to know how to walk it, talk it. You're going to know the word tracks. You're going to know the right words to say, the wrong words to avoid. You're going to know that stuff. And so this is going to change your life. This is the bat we're swinging. I can't promise that on a 10-minute call, but you give me a full 90 minutes. You give me till 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You give me the next 90 minutes. I'm telling you, you're going to walk away transformed. And if you feel some kind of distraction, you got to turn that off. You got to ignore that. You got to stay to the end, because I'm going to drop some stuff at the end I've never shared before. And it's going to be the reward for those who stick, and those who abandon, those who head out, they ain't going to hear that part. And so you're going to have the advantage. And so I want to give you the unfair advantage when it comes to talking to prospects, whether they're warm market, whether they're cold market, whether it doesn't matter, whether they came to you, whether you're going to them. Doesn't matter. I'm going to give you unfair tools in your tool belt that you will be able to rock and roll. Okay? All right. I love that, Francisca. Francisca says, I'm here for the full 90. Drop a 90 if you're in. I mean, a 90-minute investment, by the way, it's you didn't pay for this, right? Like 90 minutes, you drop a 90. If you're here for the 90 to change 2026, drop that 90. All right, let's go. Enough build up. All right, who's excited? All right. So I'm first. Oh, let me drop this in case you're not. If you're not following me on Instagram, I would encourage you to do that. The after party is going to be on Instagram, where I'm going to answer any questions. I can't guarantee I'll answer your question during the 90 minutes because I have a lot to cover and I want to make sure that I cover it. And so let me drop the Instagram link. Some of you are already, on my Instagram live. Hello, what's up? Not going to be a ton of me answering questions right now. We'll have plenty of time after. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do it. All right. So first, I gotta explain to you. I'm going to very quickly. For some of you, this will be a review. For some of you, this will be the first time you heard it. But let's just go ahead and test that out. How many you've at least heard me teach the 4P method? How many have heard me teach the 4P method? Drop a 1 if you've heard me teach the 4P method, the 4 Ps. Drop a 2 if you're like, what are you talking about? Drop a 2 if you're like, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, so I see some me's, I see some no's, I see some, okay, so 1, if you've at least heard me talk about the 4P method, the 4 Ps. 2, if you've never, okay, great. We always have people that have never heard it. Okay, look how many 2s, guys. So my regulars are like, well, yeah, of course we've heard it. Look at all the 2s. See, I like asking this question. You want to be, and by the way, this should be one of your, everyone on here, okay, that dropped a 1, this needs to be your goal. You need to be reaching new people. You need to be getting in front of people who have never heard the thing you talk about all the time. Okay. So I'm going to quickly, I have to give this foundation. If I don't give this foundation, y'all are going to be lost. All the 2s are going to be completely lost if I don't cover this foundation. My regulars, okay, you've heard this. This will be a good reminder for you. Just because you've heard it doesn't mean that you're actually doing it. And so here we go. All right. So from working with top earners for the last 20 years, and by the way, before I was ever a coach or trainer, I was the #1 income earner of a direct sales company. I have been a top producer in several different things. I've sold tens of millions of dollars of products, of coaching, made millions of dollars in direct sales. And by the way, I've also helped guide our students, our rank makers. Give them a shout out. Where's my rank makers? Drop a RM if you're a rank maker, right? I know some of my lifers are probably on here. And so I've helped since 2018, I've helped our rank makers bring in over 300,000 new customers, 71,000 new reps, and achieve over 14,000 rank advances. Kind of fun, kind of cool. I love, this week I got 2 huge just uplifts, right? And because I get uplifted not when I win a trophy, although I did just win one. I did just get one. Let me you'll be the first to hear this. Actually, I didn't plan on saying this. Let me see. So I got from the International Association of Top Businesses, I got awarded for 2026, the #1 International Sales Trainer of the Year. Someone nominated me. They checked me out. They ran their whatever they do. I got nominated. I haven't got the trophy yet. It's in shipment. But I don't like, I like that, like super cool. Like I'm excited for that. I'm way more excited when I hear my clients and my students winning. So this week, 2 of my clients and students won big. All right. #1, and I'll probably mention the second one twice, but #1, my good friend Samara. So Samara, this amazing individual, 13 years as a waitress. She was let go during the pandemic in Canada. Let go as a waitress, discarded as a waitress. She hired me in 2024. I started working with her personally first. Then I started working with her team. And last year had her first $1 million year. And this week hit legacy in her company, which is a big, big deal. And so proud of her. She did the work. I didn't do the work. I was just her guide. I was just a guide for her and her team. Helped her team rank advance, helped a bunch of them rock star. And so super amazing. I love that. Fires me up. One of my elite 8s who I see on here, Miss Lori Bollinger. So Wednesday night, I do a training for her and some of her leaders. And she's like, I'm trying to win this incentive cruise, Ray, or this incentive trip, Ray. And, it says, time's almost up and I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, listen, pop. She messages me yesterday, Ray, I used your strategy and the lady bought a $450 package that got me enough points. I just got the incentive trip. And so way to go, Laura. That's what really fires me up. Sure, man. Like, hey, cool. I don't display all the different plaques and trophies and different things. I like them. Like that's cool. Dude, I much rather prefer my clients win. So I'll be your guide. I'm not the hero. I want you to be the hero. Okay. All right. We got to quickly go through the 4 Ps. Okay. Now, because this is focused, we'll do it another day, maybe next Friday. I don't know. Depends on the response here. If we hit 1,000 comments like we did last week, then, do I want to commit to this? I got to look at my schedule actually. Okay. If we hit 1,000 comments, I'll make sure that we do something. Okay. How's that? I'll maybe next Friday. I can't promise because I got to look at my calendar, but, there's 4 Ps. Okay. It's pipeline, posture, position, perspective. We're not going to spend a lot of time on perspective today. Perspective is, where do you spend the majority of your time in your mind? So this is not a mindset training, although I'll do one in the future. I'll do one soon. I promise, right? People need it. And so that's, perspective. Where do you spend the majority of your time in your mind? Very powerful. When that's properly tuned, miracles happen. You have things happen so much faster than if you got that crappy mindset and you choose your attitude, right? We're not going to go into it. We're going to talk mainly about the other 3 Ps. Okay. Pipeline, posture, position. Pipeline, very simple. This will probably be the only time I mention it. Very simple. Pipeline is how many people you talking to, how many people you following up with. For some of you, how many samples are you getting out? It's how many. At the end of the day, here's what it really boils down to. Here's the one question that dictates whether you are on your way to sales success or not. How many people last week did you ask if they were open to your product, service, or opportunity? I don't care how much AI sales hooks you're generating. I don't care how many titles you're getting from ChatGPT. I don't care how many meetings you're having. I don't care how many friend requests you're sending. I don't care how many reels you're posting. I don't care. All of that stuff is nice, right? Cool. Way to go. How many human beings are you asking? Are they open to your product, service, or opportunity? That's it. That is the question. You have to drill that into your head. If you're not where you want to be, you need to really ponder that question and you need to focus on that question, not any other question. You can get so distracted and so overthinking and so overwhelmed and by the way, perfectionism, stop. That's perfection. That's procrastination disguised. So there's no such thing as perfectionism. It's procrastination disguised. And let me tell you, what I'm not going to do as a sales trainer is, sometimes the sales trainers are very entertaining and kind of like woo, right? Like just kind of, out there and it's awesome, but not very duplicatable. So I'm going to give you ways of thinking. I'm going to give you word tracks for you to maintain the posture. And I'll explain what that is here shortly. I'm going to give you ways so that it becomes easier and easier, because if you're stressed out about prospecting and closing, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't need a shower after you prospect people. You shouldn't be, nervous Nelly about some kind of objection. I'm gonna teach you how to overcome that kind of stuff. It's just not a big deal. All right. And so pipeline, very simple. How many people? And if we want to drill into it, it's how many people last week did you ask if they were open to your product, service, or opportunity? I don't care if you used ads. I've coached a lot of teams that do ads. That's fine. I don't care if it's organic. I don't care if it's SEO. I don't care if it's YouTube. I don't care if it's traction marketing. I don't care if it's all cold prospecting. By the way, I love those that I call them the flimfluencers. they flimsy. Those of you in network marketing and direct sales, this is the only industry where you have knuckleheads tell you that cold messaging is stupid and don't do it. No other industry. My buddy used to work for Gartner Group. They sell $200,000 software and consulting. That's on the low side. Guess what they do? They cold message. My buddy Jim, he sold insurance for most of his life. Do you know where he got all the business? Cold calling. He cold called for 10 years a petroleum company, didn't get the business. He called them every few months for 10 years. and they had a PR issue. He had some value. He said, hey, I got some suggestions on this PR issue. He got the business. You know what his commissions were? $11 million. Cold messaging. I have a friend, Eric, in one of the last companies that I was a part of. When the company opened in Malaysia, he started LinkedIn cold messaging Malaysians on LinkedIn. Finds a guy. The guy says, hey, we want you to come over to Malaysia. Goes to his wife and says, wifey, don't pay the mortgage. I have a good feeling about this. Goes over there. That team starts putting in over 10,000 people a month. So please avoid the flimfluencers. These flimsy influencers that are telling you cold messaging is bad because they don't have to do it. They're robbing you. Now, I'm not saying it's my favorite. I'm not saying that I'm the last guy standing that teaches it. It feels everyone else bashes it because it sounds cool. It sounds like, hey, no cold messaging for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, right. Stupid. You know, just last quarter last year, Christy Ord out of Australia, she reaches out to me and she goes, hey, I think I want you to teach my team cold messaging, but I want you to teach me first because I want to make sure it works. Because there's a lot of people that say, don't do it. I'm like, cool, great. Here's what you do. Here's what you say. Go do that. She does $100,000 in personal commissions directly from those efforts. 60 days. Now, that's not a guarantee. I can't guarantee that. She's good. But all cold messaging, not one person knew her. And so this training, by the way, is not about cold messaging. But if you want to learn cold messaging, I actually did a training last Friday. We had 220 people on. I gave you 5 different word tracks on how to reach out to people. And they're not 5 to choose from. It's 5 for each type of person. Okay. Blow your mind. So easy, simple. And so if you want that, if you haven't watched it, you can go to higdongroup.com/close. You can watch it for free. All right. Don't do that now, but maybe write that down, jot that down. Okay. All right. Pipeline. We got it. Posture. Posture is the ability to manage the energy of the conversation. Okay. When the prospect, this is you, this is the prospect. When the prospect pulls away, and you know when that is, I don't have to tell you. Hey, when they say, beat it, right? Or they say, this sounds stupid, or this is a scam, right? When they say that, that means they're pulling away. You know when they're pulling away. I don't have to, everyone gets that, right? So when they're pulling away, you avoid the temptation of the amateur to lean in and you pull away, right? So the other day, I do 2 to 3 Instagram lives a day, every day. And all of them are titled the same: close more sales. I am not looking to, give you some amazing miracle speech. I'm looking to help you close more sales. Why? Because you have fantastic products that more people need. There are people on their hands and knees at night praying for opportunity to make more money, and you can't close them. They need you. They need you to step up. They need you to be equipped. They need you to have more skills. They need it. We got to get you to be a better closer. And so 2 to 3 times a day, I'm doing a free Instagram live, and they're always titled the same: close more sales. And I come in, I teach one topic, and then I riff on whatever questions y'all got. Sometimes you guys are shy, you don't give me any questions, and we end it early. Just choose your adventure. Anyway, so the other day, someone says, hey, Ray, what do you say if they say, hey, is this a scam? Okay, so is that leaning in? Is that like, oh, goody, let me join your deal, right? No, that's leaning away. How do I know it's not a scam? Do you know what I would say? Do you know what a postured person would say? How do I know you're not a scam? How do I know I'm not going to invest my time in you, my precious time in you, work with you, show you what to do, teach you the ins and outs, and you're not going to do anything? How do I know that? How do I know you're not a scam? Listen, if you're playing to lose, my team ain't a fit. We plan to win. So if you want to address the problem you mentioned, if you want to make more money, I'm happy to coach you. I'm happy to walk you through. And if not, totally cool. Rooting for you. God bless you. When you stand and you lead versus crumble, that's bravery. We have to be as brave as the people who need us. You need to learn this. And this is not, I see people say this kind of crap all the time. They're like, well, I don't need scripts. I'd rather be authentic. How's that doing for you? Because this isn't you reading off of scripts. It's you owning, managing the energy of the conversation. That's what posture is. So I don't have a list of scripts by me. I never did. I didn't have this list of scripts, but I learned how to manage the energy of the conversation. And most people that are untrained are naturally not good at closing because a lot of it's counterintuitive. You think that leaning in is going to push them into doing it. And it's funny to me, the people that say, I don't want to be aggressive, I don't want to be pushy, often they're not trained well. And so guess what they end up being? The pushiest. It isn't being gross. Yeah. Ugh. So when you don't know how to handle the energy of the conversation, you default to pushiness. That's what happens. I'm never pushy ever. But here's what and this is, oh man, if you get this one thing, if you get this, I'm telling you, your life will change. Do you know the two things that I'm focused, like if I had to boil down all of the word tracks I give and all the different ways of handling objections, okay? Do you know what I'm really trying to do? And what I successfully do? I expand the problem they have in their mind, and then I expand my solution. And when those two things happen, they come together and they see it as, this may be the only thing I can do. And I'm going to show you how to do that. How's that? Drop a 1 if that excites you. Does that excite you? What if you knew, instead of just, trying to overcome objections and all this, what if you knew how to expand the problem that they have, and then how to expand your solution in that order? See, some of you are trying to expand your solution without expanding the problem. That doesn't work. So what you do is you say, yes, my thing has jojoba in it, and it's peptides. It's got ketones. It's CBD, LMNOP. You're trying to expand whatever the thing is that you sell, right? And no microplastics. It's alkaline and hydrogen, right? You're trying to expand your solution. That's not going to work if you don't expand their problem. Because they're often coming to you, they're aware of their problem, but it's kind of it'd be nice to. It'd be nice to make more money. It'd be nice to not have a job that freaking sucks the life out of me. It'd be nice to be healthier and not have my kids worried about my health. It'd be nice to, see, they have their problem, they're aware of it, but it's like this little it'd be nice to. It'd be kind of cool if I could, actually have a great life before I die. I'm just an expander. So I'm going to take that problem that they're like, it'd be nice to, and I help them realize that, holy crap, I better do something about this. Whoa, man, I never thought about it like this. All right, so that's posture. Position, very important for you to understand the two. So a lot of times when you guys ask me for scripts, hey, Ray, what would you say if they said this? And I have to ask a question. I have to know what position are they in. So pipeline, how many people are we talking to? Posture, managing the energy of the conversation. Position, where are they? Not where are you? Not where are you? I mean, I assume you're all in. I assume you believe in your product, service, or opportunity. I assume you got the company name tattooed in Old English across your back, right? I assume you got, 4-figure rings as like company name. Yeah. right? I assume you're all in. I assume that like you love it. It's amazing. Like I'm not here to convince you of what you're selling. Like that needs to be done by your upline, your company, your sales team, whatever, right? And so I'm talking about the position of the prospect. Okay. So there's two things to understand about position. I swear to you, if you understand these two things, you will be a better closer than most people. Most people. You'll definitely be a better closer than most influencers. Here's the truth. Influencers, usually good at posting content, usually creative and powerful, usually not the best closers, but because of their influence, they can be lazy. And the problem is, and I don't have a problem with that. Be a lazy influencer, no problem, right? Do your creative stuff like bada bing. Just don't teach your ways because it's a heavily weighted way. So the person with major influence doesn't have to be that skilled to close sales. But if you don't have influence, you better be skilled. You better know how to block and tackle. You better know how to roundhouse kick. You need to have those skills. Okay. Anyway, and so position. Where's the location of them? Two things to know. Number one, just the definition. The definition. The definition is where are they? Where are they? And everyone starts at 0. Now, you may have a friend that is always telling you, man, I really need to make money, or I need to get healthier, or I need to lose weight, or I need to travel more, or whatever, right? They're still at position 0. They're still at position 0 until you ask them. You have to ask them. So everyone at position 0 is, are you open to taking a look? Are you open to taking a look at my product, my service, or opportunity? Okay. And by the way, you don't lead with both at the same time. Please stop leading with health and wealth. Stupid. You can always roll to the next one, right? That's what I taught Laura on Wednesday night. She used it to go win her incentive trip. Congrats to Laura again. Don't lead with both, because then when they say no, you got nowhere to go, right? Hey, I help people get healthy and also make some extra money. And they're like, nah, you don't know what they said no to. Did they say no to the money? Did they say no to the product? Now you got nowhere to go. Where are you going to go? But if I lead with the opportunity, I can roll to the product. If I lead with the product, I can roll. You like this? You like this move, right? Someone capture that on Boomerang or something, right? So if I lead with the product, I can roll to the opportunity. No big deal. I can say to someone, hey, are you, hey, do you travel a whole lot? Do you do any travel? Nah, I don't travel ever, never. Sometimes go to Walmart. Okay, got it. Well, do you know how big the industry is? Do you know that travel is up 23%? You know that people, like a lot of people really like to travel and they're actively searching for ways to save on travel. Strong wave carries a weak soldier to shore. You want to make some money with me? I'll show you how to do it. See, I can roll from one to the other. But if I say, hey, would you be interested in travel and making money with it? And they say no, I'm like, oh, all righty then. All right, well, thanks. Right? I can't go anywhere. So don't lead with both. Okay. But position, right? So when someone's at position 0, there's only one place to go. It's not assumption. It is, are you open? Are you open to taking a look at what it is that I'm doing to make extra money? Are you open to taking a look at right? Whatever. Product or service, product or opportunity, not both. Okay. Now, if they say yes, ooh, ding, right? Now we're increasing their position. Guys, this is one of the absolute keys to closing. So if I say, hey, are you open to taking a look at what it is I'm doing? Make money. Well, what is it? Well, I got a video that does a better job than I could do of explaining it. Can I send that over to you? Okay. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that video? Yes, I did. Okay. The second part of position that will make you just a magical closer. Okay. This exact thing I'm about to teach you is how I closed hundreds of people that hated the presentation. Huh? What? Right? I closed hundreds of people that hated the opportunity presentation. That doesn't make any sense. How is that even possible? Did I blackmail them? Did I have some kind of secret intel on them? What exactly did I do? The second part of position. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. Let me give you some examples. Now, for my regulars, this is gonna be a reminder. All right, bear with me here. I know you've heard some of these stories. Tag someone who do you know that needs to hear this stuff. All right, so here we go. So I have so many examples. All right. All right. Example number one. I had a rep in, not my personal rep, but she was in the team. A girl named Amy. She lived in LA. She worked for HBO. She was an HBO exec. Wonderful person. Like, I loved her. She's awesome, except in this scenario. And so she asked me, she goes, "Hey, Ray, could you jump on a three-way call?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Let's do it." And so she gets me on a three-way call, and she broke the rules. She broke the rules. And so she edifies the prospect, not me. Right? Now, I don't need it because of my ego. It just makes the close easier. So she says, Ray, this is Barbara, and she owns a talent agency in Beverly Hills, and she's been doing it for 20 years. Everyone in town knows her. She is just amazing in what she does. She's worked with all kinds of celebrities and just an absolute rock star. And Barbara, here's Ray. Great. Awesome. So I know how this is going to go. Hey, those of you on here who've ever done a three-way call for somebody, do you know how this is going to go? Have you been there before? Has anyone experienced that? Right? You don't get edified at all, right? Here's Ray, but the prospect gets blown up, right? We get their, a Golden Globe speech, we get their, amazing, resume, right? But we get scraps, right? Those of you that are experienced upline, you know what I'm talking about. And so I know what's going to happen. And sure enough, here it comes. So she steps in, she goes, "Hello, Ray." This is the tone she was using. "Hello, Ray. I told Amy I'd look at her little home business. How are you?" Big time. She big timed me. Big timing. "Erica, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up?" And so she came, like she said, little home business, right? So I'm just little guy, little hands. "Hi, Barbara." Now, what would the amateur do? The amateur would say, "Oh my goodness, Barbara. Wow. Thanks for being on. Wow, you've got to be so busy. And oh my God, girl. Thank you for being on. Wow. I'll be quick because I'm sure you're busy. I'm sure you're right? That's how the amateur would do it. Every time. I understand that this is a posture problem. So how do I correct a posture problem? Well, in this scenario, in the absence, can I just progress? Can I progress? "Hey, great to talk to you, Barbara, and thanks for tuning in." I can't progress. That doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make sense for me to say, "Okay, let me get into the presentation." No, I'm not going to close up. See, you guys think, some of you think that, well, if I just go through, my theme, then some of them will join. No, you need to be in posture. So we don't move forward out of weakness. We get into posture, then we move forward. And to get into posture, sometimes that means referencing position. So in the absence of progress, I fall back on position. What is the position? We're on the phone. She's on the call. I didn't put a gun to her head. I didn't get her in a headlock and say, "You're getting on this call, Barbara," right? She chose to get on the call. And so I said something that most of you wouldn't say. You would be terrified to say this. And by the way, you could say it a little nicer than me. You don't have to be as, whatever as me. But I said, "Well, I guess I'm a little confused." And she says, "What are you confused about, Ray?" Right? She's still on her Golden Globes, acceptance award. And I said, "Well, I guess I'm a little confused. If your business is doing so well, why are we on the phone?" See, some of you would never say that because you're so worried about offending. So you'll let yourself be offended. You'll let yourself be dragged through the mud. You'll let yourself be disrespected. And you'll let yourself not close the sale. Every person you talk to that you don't get into your product, service, or opportunity, you have not served. You haven't served them. And so I said, well, I guess I'm a little confused. If your business is doing so well, why are we on the phone? Now, most people, when they encounter posture, they're not used to it. They're not used to it. So there's usually a pause. And there was one sound. This is why I encourage you to get on the phone. I know some of you are keyboard warriors. I know some of you are, like, oh, I don't want to get on the phone. Yeah, no thanks. Right? I got it. I know. You're going to miss 15, 20% of sales you could have made. Because there's a sound that if I hear this sound, 100% success. I've never heard this sound and not close the sale ever. Ever. You know what the sound is? A sigh. And so I said, well, I guess I'm a little confused. If you're doing so well, like, why are we on the call? And she paused because she's not used to that. People don't talk to her that way. And she paused and she goes, well, actually, the business has changed and, the industry's tougher and, I've lost some clients and, it has gotten more difficult. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. You could feel the posture shift. Okay. I'm not looking to dominate. I don't need to dominate. You don't need to dominate, but you can't, right? If they got the higher ground, okay, don't do it, Anakin. If they got the higher ground, you ain't going to close the sale. I'm just letting you know. It's not happening. You can waste a whole bunch of time and chit chat, and then they'll say, all right, I'll get back to you. Let me think about it. And they're out and you'll never close them. They're not going to think about it. And so you gotta, you don't have to be dominating, but you got to get that right. And so she said, well, it's changed. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, let me just ask you, so are there other people in the industry that are struggling too? And she goes, oh yeah. I'm like, got it. So you actually have the opportunity to go present a solution to those different people in the industry that are being challenged. Is that correct? And she goes, wow, I never thought about it like that, but yeah. And she moved forward. Okay. And so what does that have to do with closing hundreds of people who hated the presentation? Same concept. Position. So when I would follow up with somebody and I would say, by the way, don't ever, first of all, use the tool, don't be the tool. Some of you are trying to explain your opportunity through messaging. Ugh, train wreck. Please don't do that. Even if you got a bad presentation, like use the bad presentation. The bad presentation is so much better than your way of explaining the opportunity. Okay. Please don't do it. Now, if you're just focused on products, you may not have to use a presentation, right? Hey, you want creamier skin or glittery hair, right? You might just be able to, just sell the product. No big deal. But opportunity, if you're in an industry where there's duplication needed, then you need to use a tool. Don't be the tool. Okay. And so when you follow up with someone, if they've watched your presentation, don't ever ask, what'd you think? What'd you think? That's a terrible question. There's still people that teach that stuff. Don't ask that question. I always asked, what did you like? Hey, what did you like about what you saw? And regardless of what they said, now first, you can't assume that they watched it. You have to ask, did you watch it? And if they watched it, then you can say, what did you like? Some of you you're like, first of all, you don't ask permission to send the video. So you may reach out to someone and say, hey, I got this thing I'm doing to make extra money. Would you be open to learning more? And they say, okay. And you're like, here's a video, watch it. They didn't agree to watch the video. You have to actually ask permission. This needs to be in steps. This is step-by-step how to close more sales. So you don't just say, here's a video, watch it, Buster, right? You don't do that. And they're like, I didn't know it was a video. You say, hey, I got a video that does a better job than I could do of explaining it. Can I send a video to you? Okay. And they say, yes, great. Here's the video. How soon can you watch it? Awesome. Well, I'm pretty busy. The baseline of posture is busyness. I'm pretty busy, but I can follow up with you at 2:15. I can follow up with you at 3:45. Okay. And so I follow up with them. Did you get a chance to watch the video? And regardless of what they say, I don't care what they say, I'm always going to ask the next question. And the next question is, what did you like best? And I'll give you an example, because you're going to be thwarted. You're going to be distracted. If you do enough of this stuff, you're going to have people throw you a monkey wrench. Okay. And so if I said, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? This one guy says to me, he goes, yes. And I have some questions and I have some concerns. Now, what would you do? Well, the amateur would say, okay, what are they? What are your questions and concerns? Let me make sure I jot down each and every one and we'll discuss it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. No, that's not what you do. I said, okay, well, I'm just curious. What'd you like best? And so he paused and he's like, well, I really like this. Oh, why'd you like that? Well, why was that important to you? Why did that stand out? And then I get enough ammunition and I get to a point where I don't ask. By the way, I didn't ask people to join ever. I never asked people to join. That must sound weird. I made a statement. Once I had collected enough data, enough ammunition, I said, sounds to me like you're ready to join. Notice on the inflection. That's authority. Sounds to me like you're ready to join. I didn't say sounds to me like you're ready to join. Are you ready to join the team? No. Upswings cause confusion. There's use for that. Not in this scenario, and we're not going to get to it in this training. There's use for that. It causes confusion. You can use an upswing to cause confusion, but not in this context. You want to avoid that during the close. Sounds to me like you're ready to join. And if I'm on the phone, I'm going to put it on mute. And I'll eat a sandwich. I'll go walk the dog. I'll go brush my daughter's hair. I'll go make a chalupa. I am not the next person to speak ever. Ever. I don't care. See, some of you are afraid of silence. So you would say, you're like, all right, I'm going to try out this Higdon thing, man. He seems a little crazy, but I'm going to try this out. And sounds to me like you're ready to join. Unless you're not sure. Unless you need to think about it. Don't do it. They are the next person to speak always, 100% of the time. You're never to speak next. Now, they may come back at you. I'm not saying every person you ever say that to is going to say, yes. They may come back at you and they may say, well, okay, slow down, Pam. I don't know that I'm ready to join. And here's exactly what you respond with. Oh, okay. Well, it's just when someone says exactly what you just said, they typically join. It's just when someone said exactly what you just said, they usually or typically join. Words that end in ly are very persuasive. Usually, typically, obviously, usually, clearly. There's a bunch of them. Okay. So what if? All right. What if I reach out to them and I say, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? And they say, yes, and it was terrible. It's the worst video I've ever seen. If I had a one-use time machine, I'd go back in time and not kill Hitler. I'd go back to a time before I saw this presentation. Now, I never got that response, but I always kind of dreamed of it. I always thought that'd be cool. Wouldn't that be funny? Wow. Apparently you didn't like it. And so here's what you do. So has anyone ever had a prospect watch a presentation and not like it? Anyone? I've had hundreds, maybe thousands, Anyone ever have a presentation? What does the amateur do? The amateur goes and cries to mommy. The amateur goes and calls their upline and says, Christy, I'm out here working my face off, and that presentation stinks. How am I supposed to make money to bring things back? That's what the amateur will do. The amateur will blame the presentation and miss out on the juiciness, on the juice of what position that prospect is in. They watched a presentation. Can you get a hotter prospect? No one on planet Earth goes around and just says, hey, Harold, it's Tuesday, opportunity video night. Come on, let's find our favorite direct salesperson. Let's see what they got. Let's go watch some opportunity videos. Let's do it. No one just willy-nilly watches opportunity videos. What are you talking about? Someone watched a presentation? What does that mean? Of all the things, they could be watching Game of Thrones. They could be watching Breaking Bad. They could be watching this weird Korean thing that my daughter watches, right? They could be watching Spy Kids, which my 6-year-old is obsessed with. They could be watching Dancing with the Stars. They could be watching anything, and they chose, of all those things, to watch your thing? Wow, what a hot prospect. You got to get that, man. You know how easy it is to not watch the video? Didn't watch it. Had to pressure wash my driveway. Had to scrub my aquarium. Had to perm my hair. Had to wind my watch. It's so easy not to watch your presentation. And they watched it? What? And so here's the deal. I reach out, and this is how I closed hundreds of people that hated the presentation. And guess what? So can you. And so if I followed up and said, hey, yo, did you get a chance to watch the video? Yes, I did, and it sucked. It was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever. I want to bleach my eyes. Oh, wow, okay. So step one, act surprised. I don't care if you've never encountered a human being that liked the video. I don't care if the last 99 people you talked to said the video sucked. I don't care if the last 99 people literally blocked you on Facebook for even sending them the video. Don't care. If they say they didn't like the video, I'm going to act surprised. I'm going to say, oh, okay. Did I send the right video? Here, let me look. Yeah, I sent the right video. Huh, okay. You didn't like it. Oh, okay. Got it. Now, if my wife's around, she knows the drill. And I'll say, baby, sweetie, muffin, baby girl, hey, hotness, right? Queen bee. And she's going to say, yes, dear. Yes, love muffin. And I'm going to say, hey, they didn't like the video. And she'll go, oh, really? Did you send the right video? That's what I asked. So what am I doing? I'm causing some confusion. Now, this is not going to close them. They're not going to say, oh, wow, I must be mistaken. Please sign me up. Here's my American Express. No, that's not going to work. But it's going to create some confusion. No, most people are not so stout in their opinions that it cannot be swayed, right? I just want to cause a little bit of confusion. Maybe I was in a bad mood. Maybe I just watched it on a bad day or something. I don't know, right? I want a little bit of confusion. But then I'm going to roll it back and I'm going to ask this question. This is the $1 million question. It's at minimum, every single person on here, this question is worth at least $10,000 to you. To some of you, it's worth hundreds of thousands. To some of you, it's worth millions. Minimum that this is worth to you is $10,000. And that is when they say they didn't like the presentation, you say, what were you hoping to see? Well, I'm just curious. What were you hoping to see? See, in the absence of progress, can I move forward? If they say, I hated the video, great. Can I put you down for 2 kits? You want the quad? Let's go. Can I move forward? No, makes no sense. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. What's their position? It's in the most beautiful position that could exist other than closed. And that is, they watched a presentation. So awesome. So good. What were you hoping to see? And guess what? They've never answered something crazy. I've never had someone say, well, I was hoping to grow my arm back. I was hoping I could bury it in the backyard and Bitcoin would spew like a fountain. Never heard that. Never heard anything crazy. They're typically like, well, I was hoping I could work it part-time, or I could work it as a single individual. Everyone in the video looks like they're married, or everyone in the video had suits. I don't own a suit. I got overalls, whatever. They say some kind of weird critique of the video, but they say something we can actually help with. And that's how you can close people who don't like the presentation. To be honest, I don't really care if they like the presentation. I care that they watch it. If they watch it, that's what's important. If they like it, that's optional. And now it's optional for you too. Helpful? Okay. I'm looking at the time. What I want to share with you is I'm gonna give you some of my very best stuff at the very end. I want to briefly share something with you that if you think that me being in your corner for the next 6 months would be helpful, I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to go through it quickly. And at the end, after I share this with you, I want to share with you how to be unbelievably postured to get them on the phone, to get them to stop ghosting you, to get them to actually respond to you when you think that when someone says, I'm interested, and then they disappear, how do you actually get them to move toward the close? And some of the stuff I'm going to share, I've never shared before. I'm telling you, I swear to you, I promise, I pinky swear. Okay. I'm going to share something with you. All right. And so some of you, not all, I understand, some of you may want help to make this the best year of your life, to completely change everything about what you're doing. And so let me show you something real quick. Okay. Drop a 1 if you're still with me. All right. So who wants to take their sales and marketing to the next level in 2026? I hope that's every single one of you. But do you really mean that? That's the question, right? Do you think, very simple question, do you think you could go farther with me in your corner? What if I was in your corner for 6 months? What if we met twice a month? What if I come up alongside of you and actually looked at your conversations and actually told you how to follow up, told you what words to use, told you all that stuff, and you got to own it in 6 months so that by the end of 6 months, you're a closing machine? How would that change you? Would that be cool? And so I'm going to share a couple quick ones with you. And so we just uploaded, this is on our YouTube channel now. But this is Stephanie Nault. I don't know if she's on here today, but she went from 0 to 1 sales a month in high ticket to 5 last month and 7 RA this month. She made 25,000 in 2024, over 100,000 in 2025. And she says, just understanding posture and understanding how people think about closing was the difference maker for her. And so I have something that I've been doing for over a year, a little bit over a year, and it's called the Sales and Marketing Mentorship. And this is, we meet twice a month, and it's a group coaching thing. And I go through I look at your marketing if that's what's needed, or I look at your conversations. I tell you exactly what to change. But it's 12 mentoring sessions. And when I'm brought into a team, the average that I'm paid, sometimes I'm paid more, sometimes a little less, but the average that I'm paid when I come into and coach a sales team, which this month I coached 12 different sales teams. February, I do not have nearly as many, but I got openings in February. But when I'm brought in, I'm typically paid right around $1,000 an hour. And so 12 mentoring session, that's a retail value of right around $12,000. You guessed it, okay? For those of you who do not have influence, who do not have a brand, you want to actually learn cold market messaging and exactly what to say. Well, just last quarter, I taught this to Christy. She went from stagnant to over 100K in 60 to 90 days. And that was 100% from cold messaging. Pretty cool. And so what if I made it a little sweeter? I'm going to add a few things, and then we're going to get back and I'm going to share with you unbelievable postured stuff. Okay. So I'm throwing in a big bonus, presenting for profits. This is for those of you who want to be more persuasive in groups, for those of you who want to command the stage. And it's funny because there's a couple dozen people that that they specifically hired me to train them on speaking, and they always stand out. I had, in fact, Christy on here. She goes, "Hey, did you train?" And she asked a question. I'm like, "Yeah, why do you ask?" And she's like, because she's amazing. She's an amazing speaker. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And so this course actually goes through how to be incredible as a speaker, but also how to sell, how to structure a presentation that sells. And if you have an existing presentation, how to increase the conversions of that presentation. This is one of our big boy courses. This is a big money course. It's a retail value of $4,997. You can't buy this anymore. We're giving this as a big bonus. Bonus number 2, the 1-minute influencer. This is exactly step-by-step what to do to dominate in Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, etc. Step-by-step, exactly what to do, how to figure out your target market, how to speak their language, how to generate more leads, how to attract them to you. That's a retail value of $497. We still sell this course for $497. And bonus number 3, how to be a rock star speaker. That's, you're going to show up on stage and you're really going to stand out. Little different than presenting for profits. Presenting for profits breaks down slide by slide what to do, et cetera. This is more about your energy on the stage. You kind of have a choice, if you get good at sales and marketing and you start closing more sales, you're going to get invited on stages. That's what's going to happen. And you can either stand out or be like most of the other speakers. Most of them kind of clump together. How do you stand out? We want to show you how to do that. That's a bonus of $197. And so if you look at everything that I talked about, that is over $17,000 worth of value. What if I gave you one more bonus here? That's a mega bonus. If you decide to move forward, by the way, you can't actually just buy this. This is an application process. But if you get your deposit in before Sunday night, you'll also get a 30-minute one-on-one with me. And that's, if you're accepted, of course. And by the way, that is a real thing. We look at what are your expectations? What are you looking to accomplish? Where are you at? I can take someone from 0 to, a high number, but we want to see what are your expectations? What are you bringing to the table? What do you bring to the mentorship? And so if you decide to move forward before Sunday, you'll also get a 30-minute one-on-one with me. That's a $750 value. And so if you add all of that up, $18,000, but I'd like to make it a little bit easier investment for you. And so if this is something, if you're like, okay, I am done with the struggle bus, I want to make this the very best year of my life, and you want to move forward and you think with me in your corner, you have more likelihood of rocking it, then not $18,000. And so everything I talked about here today, $5,997, or if you wanted to pay the full 6 months up front, it's $4,997. Okay. Before you decide, let me just quickly share with you a few stories. First of all, Di Carter. So Di Carter is the one on the top right. So Di Carter, I had a coaching call with her and I helped her understand what her sabotage was. She had been stuck for 4 years at $500 a month. Helped her with that breakthrough. In 90 days, she was at 90,000 in volume. Amy Murphy, one of our favorite stories. Amy Murphy didn't make a profit for 17 years. Okay, she was in a home business, 17 years, had never made more money than she spent. We walk her through what to do, help her change up her social media. She does $5 million in that company, retires her husband, and pursues her acting career. Jennifer Welshons. Jennifer Welshons is a client of ours. She came to me and she was very stagnant. She was a leader. She was a six-figure earner, but she just wasn't growing. And she came to me and she goes, Ray, they have a contest. I really want to earn. I really want to make this, happen. And I said, okay, I'm going to tell you what to do, but you won't want to do it. And she's like, just tell me. And I told her, and she of course didn't want to do it. But I'm like, if you want to win, do this. She does it. She hits a $240,000 bonus. That's Jennifer Welshons. The Meltons, John and Nadia. I'm very grateful for these guys. They were already rock stars when they came into our kind of hemisphere. But John has publicly many times said that I'm the one that helped him go from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month. And then last night, I want to give a shout out to Laura, who I believe is on here. Laura, she was wanting to win this incentive trip. It was coming down to the wire. It looked unlikely. I said, you can do it. Gave her some strategies and boom, she hit her incentive trip last night. How cool is that? And so if all this did was make you a better closer the rest of your life, which is exactly what's going to happen, would that be worth it? Would it be worth the one-time investment? Would it be worth the 6 months of your investment? And so closing is, there's no question, the number one skill you can learn. No question. If you learn to close, everything you do is more profitable. And so keep in mind, what you learn in 6 months, you will keep the rest of your career. What's that worth? And so if you'd like to see what I'm talking about and you'd like to get in and place your deposit, you can't buy this. You have to apply. So how it works, you put in a $500 refundable deposit. If we look at the application, we're like, hey, we don't think this is the right fit for you right now, we're not keeping your $500. We're going to give it back to you. I'm not looking to whatever. And so it's higdongroup.com/SAMM, higdongroup.com/SAMM. If you think that in the next 6 months, me being by your side twice a month and all of those bonuses and the 30-minute, one-on-one with me is going to help you, great. We'd love to work with you. And there is a payment plan, right? So if you want to save that additional $1,000, you can pay it in full, of course, or you can get on our payment plan, which the website, you'll get those details. And so there we go. That's what I wanted to share with you. For those of you who want to step it up, this is what I suggest. And I still got more to teach you. Cool? All right. So let me stop sharing. Okay. So how are we doing? How are you? Is that exciting? Do you like that? Is that a good idea? Okay. All right. Let's move forward. So, and I'll post it for you, higdongroup.com/SAMM. And again, if you get it in before Sunday, just the deposit, then you're going to get that 30-minute one-on-one with me. All right. And so a couple things. One, what do you do when someone is ghosting you? Now, first of all, they have to be above position 0. They can't be at position 0. So in the absence of progress, fall back on position. If they're at position 0, then there's nothing for you to do. Just move on. So if you're cold messaging or something, and you're sending a cold message and those people don't respond to you, just cold message new people. You're looking for people who at least responded. Okay. But what if someone says, has anyone ever had this experience of someone saying they're interested and then they just fall off the face of the planet? Anyone ever had that? Anyone ever had that? Or just me? I'm waiting. Okay. See, now y'all are gun shy. You're like, oh no, he tried to sell something. By the way, if you're resistant to someone selling you something, you bring that resistance when you're selling something, just so you're aware. And so when you have someone who is not position 0, they've responded at least one time, they've said that they're interested, you know that they breathe oxygen, they're a real account, whatever. Okay. You implement a 3-step follow-up. Okay. So the 3-step follow-up is, step 1 is, hey, I haven't heard from you. Are you still looking to blank? Are you still looking to make extra money? Are you still looking to lose weight? Are you still looking to fill in whatever the blank? Okay. And so you ask that question. Now, the truth is, most of them are not going to respond to that, because if they're already ghosting you, they're probably going to ghost that too. Follow-up number 2, next day. You say, hey, haven't heard from you. Would you like me to mark you off the list? Now, maybe 5%, 8% will respond to that one. 5 to 8%. Okay. And so 5 to 8% will respond. Great. Work with them. But the 3rd step, this is the one you're scared to send. But it's the one that'll get 60 to 80% of them to respond. Who would like to hear that one? Who would like to get a 60 to 80% response? How many think that sounds good? You say, and this is the one you're scared. You say, Seems like this isn't a fit for you. I'm going to go ahead and mark you off the list, but I wish you the very best. This is the one you're scared to send. This is the one that's going to get 60 to 80% respond. And so I train so many teams. When I train that right there, I know some people are like, oh, mark them off the list. Like, what if they're interested? Like, no, they're ghosting you. They don't feel any urgency in responding to you. They're completely in power. They're running the show. You're not running the show. When you say that, real fear of loss kicks in. And now either one or two things will happen and both are good. Either the person will say, all right, see ya. And you get to stop wasting your time. Because if they say see ya or bye, right? If they just like, they're fine with you mark them off the list, they were never going to buy and you were wasting your time. So thank goodness you stopped wasting your time sooner. Yay, that's a win. And there's nothing wrong with a no. Stop being afraid of no's. And so that's the one that's going to get more of them to respond than anything else you could possibly say. Now, let's say that you're wanting to get on the phone with someone because you want to close the highest percentage of people possible. How many want to do that? Now, I know, don't lie to me. I know some of you do not want to get on the phone, and that's fine, right? You're going to miss 15 to 20% of sales. So as long as you generate enough leads, maybe that's not a big deal. Who cares? If you're generating a ton of leads and you never want to get on the phone, you don't need to close 15 to 20% more. Great. That's a choice. But if you want to get on the phone, here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like. So you're talking to someone, and let's say you get them to reach out to you, which we teach in sales and marketing mentorship, how to develop marketing that actually works, how to get people reaching out to you. And because that's what I built my career on is, we've generated a very large email list. We've generated a lot of followers from marketing and psychology. And so you get people reach out to you, and let's say they say, hey, I'm interested, or tell me how to get more money, or whatever. Here's what you say. Hey there, I have availability at 2:15 on Tuesday and 3:45 on Thursday. Would you like me to book you for one of those times, or should I release those times? They typically book up fast. Pay attention to this. I have this time and this time available. They typically book up fast. Would you like me to book you for one of those times, or should I release those times to the waiting list? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ray, I don't got a waiting list. Ray, I'm not busy. I have all the time in the world. And that way of thinking is what's keeping you from closing more sales. The baseline of posture is for you to be busy. You need to appear busy. The amateur will say, well, if I appear busy, then they think I won't have time to service them and help them out. That's not how this works. We want to work with busy people. So if God forbid, someone in my family needed heart surgery, and I just start, oh man, I got to find a heart surgeon, and I call a heart surgeon. Hey, is this Dr. Hartwell? Yes, it is. Hey, I got a family member needs heart surgery. How does it work? Like, when can I get in there? Oh, come right in. What's that? Come on in. Yeah, we'll stay open late for you. What was that? You're available right now? You'll stay open late for me? You don't have no one's booked to see you? Are you going to use that heart surgeon? No, you're not. But don't you want a heart surgeon that can take care of you? Yeah, but not in the absence of competence. If you're not busy and it's very obvious to your prospect that you're not busy, then they don't think you're competent. If you're just like, what time works for you? I'm available 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There you go, Natalie. Look at Natalie paying attention. I got this time and this time available. They typically book up fast. Should I book you? Book you is a very powerful phrase. Should I book you for one of those times, or should I release those times to the waiting list? Keep in mind, most of you at least are a representative of a company. Your company is busy. Your company is making a lot of money. There's a lot of reps. They don't know. They don't know how this works. And so stop thinking that you being transparent and not being busy is helping you. That's not helping you. It makes them question your competence. Does this person know what the hell they're doing? That right there is going to change your game. It's going to absolutely change your game. Now, let me rewind just one step. I'm going to rewind one step real quick. So I've coached a lot of your teams that do ads, a lot of your teams that you do like a form or something like that, and they fill out the application or whatever, right? And so there's steps that you need to follow. And so you need to, so the 3-step formula when it comes to marketing that I focus my entire career around, everything, like I think about it all the time. Generate a lead, connect with the lead, determine the need. See, some of you have gotten good at studying sales hooks and studying, different call to actions and different things like that. And you're getting people to reach out to you. And you're going from someone reaching out to you to smacking them in the face with your video. Great, here you go, watch it, bub. No, if you generate a lead, okay, which we talk all about in sales and marketing, you generate a lead, you connect with the lead. Hey, what are you looking for? How can I help you? What has you looking right now? Tell me about your journey. What have you tried? What have you tried so far? Have you tried anything to make extra money? Have you tried anything to lose weight? Are you currently in any kind of vacation programs? Ask them the questions. You want to connect with them. And because here's what you think. You think that the close starts at the end. So you get to this, you're like, hope. Ah, I hit an objection and you got no ammunition. So when I hit an objection, I'm going to reference, right, in the absence of progress, fall back on position, but also I'm going to reference any data I've collected. So let me give you an example. So I was on the phone with this guy, and he had watched a presentation, and I said, "Hey, did you get a chance to watch the presentation?" And he said, "Yes, I don't think it's a fit for me." So it wasn't negative. So I didn't have to do the whole rigmarole of what? Wow, what? Jess, I didn't have to do that whole thing, the whole show. He said, "But I don't think it's a fit for me." I'm like, "Okay, got it. Okay. Well, you watched it. Like, what were you hoping to see?" And he's like, "Well, so it's generate a lead, connect with the lead, determine the need." Okay. That's the deal. And so I said, "Well, you watched the presentation. Like, what were you hoping to see?" He goes, "Well, it'd be nice to make money." Now, here's the point I made earlier. I told you that if you learn to expand their problem and expand their solution, they're going to move forward. They're going to do it every time. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. Who wants to know what that looks like? This time, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'm over here working for likes. And so, let me say this again, because if you can get this, man, if you can get this, right? If you can expand their problem and expand their solution and expand your solution, it's going to fit together like a glove. Okay. And by the way, some of you are hitting me with questions. I'm going to jump on Instagram after this, and all questions, whatever questions you got, anything you got for me. I'm happy to do it. It's hard for me to get out of flow and go to a random question. And so He says, well, it'd be nice to make money. So I want to point this out. This is where a lot of your prospects are. It'd be nice to make money. Listen to what I do with it. Listen to where we go. He said, it'd be nice to make money. So how big is that in his mind? About that big. It's there, right? It's there, but it's about that big. It'd be nice to make money. It'd be nice to make money. Yeah, why not? Nice to make money. And so I said, okay, got it. Why? Is there a reason why? Like, why are you looking to make money? Is there, bills tough? Is it, don't like your job? Like, what? And he's like, it'd be nice to make money. He kind of hemmed and hawed for a little bit. And then I just kept asking, and then I lowered his defenses by saying this. I said, hey, listen, tell me what's going on. Maybe I can help. This lowered his defenses because it sounded like, hey, whether you move forward or not, like maybe Ray can help. Maybe I can give you some advice or wisdom. So it lowered his defenses. See, some of you, you're trying to close while their defenses are way up. You're trying, the defenses are here and you're like, and you're trying to use what these sales trainers teach you. Like, oh, how do you feel about that? I laugh at that crap. People are so over that old stuff. How does that make you feel? How do you think it makes me feel, buddy? Thanks for being so like every other sales trainer. I'm bored to tears. And so don't do that. And so, I said, okay, I lowered his defenses. I said, well, hey, listen, you tell me why, maybe I can help. I didn't say maybe my solution could help. I didn't say maybe my business can help. I didn't say maybe my opportunity can help. I said, maybe I can help. So it lowered his defenses. And he said, well, I got 4 daughters. And I don't know where he's going, right? I'm like, well, that sounds expensive, of course, but okay, you got 4 daughters. He goes, and I've given them everything they ever wanted their whole life. And they're teenagers now. And pretty soon they're going to get married. And it's on the bride's family to pay for the wedding. And I don't got that kind of money. Now, I want to remind you, when we entered this conversation, he said, hey, it'd be nice to make some money. It was about that big. And so I asked a couple questions that were unfair. I admit, I'm sorry, guilty as charged. I asked some unfair questions. You too can ask some unfair questions. But I want to help you with this. This is not being manipulative. Okay? Manipulation is I get you to do what I want you to do. Persuasion is getting you to do what you already want to do. Some of you already want to change your life. Some of you do not want to live another 2025. Some of you want to genuinely have a different year this year than you had last year. So my job is to persuade you to do just that. My job with this guy is to help him do what he needs to do. And so to do that, I asked a few unfair questions. So he tells me, got 4 daughters, they're teenagers, they're coming up for their weddings. I've given them everything they ever wanted. I'd love for them to have their wedding, your dream weddings. I don't have that kind of money. And I asked an unfair question that he hadn't asked himself. See, I have to ask better questions than the prospect asks themselves. You never thought about that, did you? Let me say that again. I have to ask better questions of the prospect than they even ask themselves. So I asked him this question. I said, hey, okay, so you want to be able to pay for dream weddings for your daughters. Is that something that's optional? Now, I had to hold in my laughter because I'm a girl dad and I would go to war for her. I would do anything for her. She is the absolute light of my life. I love her with all my heart. There's nothing we wouldn't do for our daughters, nothing for either kid, but daughters. And so I asked an unfair question that he hadn't asked. Because here's the problem. If I don't lead this person, then he gets to their wedding day and he feels like a loser because it's too late. we have to be as brave as the people who need us. We have to ask the questions that are tough. We have to ask better questions of them than they're asking themselves. And so I said, is that something optional? And he's like, no. Started expanding. He realized, holy crap, I need to do something. I gotta do something. See, before it was, that'd be nice to. Hey, why not? Right? Now it's like, holy crap. 4 daughters, what is that? 150,000 each, right? Like what's that run? $120 each. Like, what does that look like? Holy crap. I don't have that kind of money. That's going to take time. So I've just expanded his problem. It went from, yeah, it'd be nice. Why not? Make some money. To, I must make money. When you're good at this, and it takes practice, when you're good at closing, it's not, hey, I hope they join. It's they don't see an alternative. But we're not done yet. So what I've done is I've expanded the problem in his mind. I've asked the questions that have expanded it. Now he's like, holy crap, I need to do something. But I still need to do one last thing. I need to expand my solution. Okay. Right now, my solution is this big. He's not even thinking about it. And I said, well, I'm curious, if you don't do this, how will you come up with the money? That's the second unfair question. It's unfair because if he knew, we wouldn't be talking. If he knew, he wouldn't have watched the presentation. If he said, oh, I'll just, I'll just sell my Bitcoin. Easy breezy. No, he doesn't have that answer. Now, this is a technique I've never heard anyone else call it this. I think I made it up. It's called green lighting. So green lighting is where you give every option. You expand your arms, you give every option. I said, if you don't do this, how will you come up with the money? So I green lighted it. I gave him every option that exists on planet Earth. And when you give every option on planet Earth, do you know what it actually does? It's overwhelming and it makes your option expand. So I expanded his problem from it'd be nice to holy crap, I need to do something. And then I took my solution, which you'll take your solution. And I said, if you don't do this, how will you come up with this money that's now super important? If you don't do this, how will you come up with this money that I must come up with? He has no solution. He has no alternative. And I said, listen. Now I knew he couldn't answer the question. I said, if you don't do this, how will you come up with the money? And he's like nervous now. He's like, And I said, listen, if you're coachable, I'll walk you through exactly what to do. And you move forward. And so will they. When you expand the problem in their mind and you expand the solution, they're going to move forward with you. And they're going to move forward every single time. And so I'd love to help you. If you want to, hey, listen, whether you move forward with our mentorship or not, I hope that this was extremely valuable. Tag someone that would benefit from it. Some of you said you had a problem with the website. If you do want to check it out, it's higdongroup.com/SAM. higdongroup.com/SAMM. It's not SAM, it's SAMM. And that will allow you to put in the deposit, put in the application. I'd love to work with you. We will be very gentle if we don't feel like it's the right time for you. If you're struggling to get the lights on, it's not the right time for you. I don't want that stress. If you can't pay your bills, it's not the right time for you. And that's okay, right? Use this to go make some money, catch up on your bills, and if you want, come back to us. And so I appreciate you. I am rooting for you. I think about you every single minute of the day. I think about how can I use what God gave me to help you go help the people that need what you have. There are people right now in your town, in your country, in your state. They actually need your opportunity. They need your product or service. They need your machine. They need your skincare. They need what it is that you have, but we're not going to get it in their hands if you suck at closing. It's just not going to happen. And so I appreciate you so very much. God bless you. God bless your family. May you bring more hope to others and bring more glory to the King. I appreciate you guys so much. So have a great day. And I'll see you. I'm going to jump on Instagram. Give me a minute at least. But I'm going to jump on my Instagram, answer any questions you got. Can be about anything. All right. Love you guys. See you soon.